Well, I went ahead and routed the wires for the cylinder head temperature and the exhaust gas temperature. As you can see, the CHT wires comes down, and then the EGT wires, one going to the rear and one coming off the front cylinder, and then joining together and making their way down. Now, I did put an Adel clamp on right here, and I've got two Adel clamps, one down here for my starter wire and the other one up here for the wires coming off of the temperature probes. And they're all clear of the exhaust system, and though it may be hard to see on the video, they are somewhat up away from the engine itself, so they should be just fine according to the Heit manual, installation manual. And then you can see I have put a rubber boot on the starter positive terminal. Now this wire, which is Adel clamped, comes down here. I put some snake skin over the wires that come off of the temperature probes, and the skin on this wire coming down is very thick, so it's pretty tough stuff. Bring it on down. Now the wing goes in here. Here's the rear wing spar right here. So I believe there should be more than enough clearance. Put these right up against here and come down in between the root tube and the wing. And then down, I've got them Adel clamped here. Kind of separates these two. And then this one clamps off the wires for the instrument probes. And they come down inside the back here. Now, you may find your EGT or CHT probe wires a little bit too long. Whatever you do, do not cut them off. Just simply roll them up and tie wrap them together. You can see here where I've got them labeled. I've got exhaust gas temperature front, exhaust gas temperature rear. And then over here for cylinder head, I have a front and a rear, and they're all marked. And I'm ready to go ahead now and put my connector block in. Here is the wire coming down from the starter, and it will eventually go into my starter solenoid, which will be mounted down here. And so far I'm doing great here. Now up here are the ignition wire harness. It will come down the other side, and over here, all this will be over here, and it'll provide some separation between the exhaust gas and cylinder head temperature probes and the ignition wires to keep the noise that will be induced into these wires by the lighting coil out of them. Now in the next step, when I put the connectors on the other side of this, I'm going to be using some grounded wire. It'll have a shield around it. Let's see if I can get this in the camera here. And when this gets terminated, I will do a video on how to put a solder sleeve on here that will allow me to ground these wires at this end to the fuselage and at the other end by the instrument panel, so that any noise picked up in those wires will be shunted to ground before it can get into my instruments. There it is. A few hours worth of work here and lots of good Italian music, and we're ready to go flying. As soon as we can get this engine started. Thanks for watching.